నిన్ను వీణావేల్పులెవరమ్మా వినాయకుని వలెను బ్రోవవే నిన్ను వీణావేల్పులెవరమ్మా వినాయకుని వలెను బ్రోవవే అనాథరక్షకి శ్రీ కామాక్షి అనాథరక్షకి శ్రీ కామాక్షి అనాథరక్షకి శ్రీ కామాక్షి
అని ఒక ఆవిడ ఎక్కువ మాట్లాడకపోయేది, మాట్లాడినప్పుడు అందరినీ వణికిచ్చేసేది ఆవిడ. సో షీ సెడ్ డోంట్ కమ్ హియర్, గెట్ అవుట్ ఇన్ తెలుగు. ఎందుకు వస్తాయిడా మాట్లాడ తెలంగాణ యాస. మీ అమ్మాయిలు వచ్చి మా మీద దొంగ కేసులు వేస్తారు నడవకి అనేసి ఇట్లా వెళ్ళగొట్టేసేది. తర్వాత నేను ఊరికి వెళ్ళి ఇక నాకు తెలుసు నువ్వు మా అలాగే ఉన్నావు కానీ నీ అమ్మాయి నేను మంచి బడిలేసి అనిపిస్తున్నారు కదా, మాకు సదులు ఏం లేవు అనేసి తరిమేసేది. And my step elder brother was getting married, 11-year gap. He was 26, I was 15. I wrote my 10th exams. Pettindi with the సంబంధం వచ్చింది. చాలా అపర కోటీశ్వరులు వాళ్ళు, మార్వాడీలు. తెలుగు కాస్త బాగుండేది కదా వాళ్ళ తెలుగు. వాళ్ళు మా నాన్నగారి కన్నా సంధీజీ హమారీ బేటీకి ససురాల్ में कोई చక్కా బిడ్డా नहीं होना चाहिए. మా అమ్మాయి మెట్టింట్లో ఏ కొజ్జోడు ఉండకూడదు. మంజూర్ హై తో హమ్ తయార్ హై. మీకు అంగీకరిస్తే మేము సంసిద్ధంగా ఉన్నాం పెళ్లికి. అంటే నన్నేం చేయాలి? మా నాన్న మై ఫాదర్ సెంట్ మీ అవే టు మై గ్రాండ్ ఆంట్స్ హోమ్, చిన్నమ్మ గారింటికి పంపించేశారు. I went there. Within 2 months of me going there, she had started having blackouts and she was diagnosed of metastatic pancreatic cancer. Pancreatic cancer is very, very fast and very swift. And she died within 4 months of me moving into her home. With that came upon me the dubious distinction of being wretched, daridram. వీడు ఏ కొమ్మకు వాళ్ళ ఆ కొమ్మ ఆ చెట్టే కూలిపోతుంది. And I had to move very many వారాల మనిషి పరిస్థితి. My 10th I did with 89 point some percent, just a little short of 90. And I lost a whole year of education because I was living like a varala manchi. I don't think this term is used today because varala manchi ante varala abbayi ante okari intlo వీళ్ళ ఇంట్లో తిన్నా ఉంది. అలా అక్కడ I became a domestic worker. I had to clean this, cut their utensils, clean their manholes, and they were not educating me. I went to government Alia college after, in the afternoon the women in the house used to fall asleep. I sneaked to government Alia college. The part of government college adi cut doors and the principal half doors. Ochinipoyina cheppuku pinnies kattukoni he was sewed up with a safety pin, and I had just 2 or 3 sets of clothes. I used to go there. I was too scared to go and talk to the principal because I was just 15 and a half or something. I used to stand outside. The principal ma'am, she said, అక్కడ ఎవరో మనిషి చినిపోయిన చెప్పేసుకొని వస్తున్నారు ఆయమ్మ లోపల రాలే. And I was called in. ఏంటి బాబు ఇక్కడ వచ్చావు, లోపల రావాలి అంటే అది ఇక్కడ చదువుకోవాలి, డేట్స్ అయిపోయాయి కదా, the dates are over. And I started crying because I didn't know what to say. And where are your parents? I started crying even more hysterically. So she assumed that my parents are dead. Of course my mother was no more. And then she said, no, never mind, I'll write, and this was all in the early 90s. She said, I'll write a letter to the Commissioner of Education or something. I'll say, there was no distance education formalized in those days. They used to call it private candidate. I'll seek her approval. Don't cry, I'll try. I'm not promising you, I'll try. And she wrote. And then there were no mobile phones in the early 90s. I came back and she said, now I got a reply. You can apply as a private candidate, but what will you study? I said, maths, economics, commerce. But who will teach you math? I didn't have an answer. She said, never mind, I'm a maths faculty member. I will teach you, but you have to come twice a week during my free periods with all your homework and preparation and a set of questions because you shouldn't waste my time. But who will teach you accounts? You can't study accounts all by yourself. And she called another lady. And that lady, both of them are because of their largesse. Because of their largesse, I stand where I'm today. I don't claim to be everything, but wherever I am, I stand. And it's not just in my case. If each one of us is here, wherever we are because somebody else has been human. And we should always acknowledge that. Gratitude is the least of all virtues. This is something that my mother taught me as a child. By being grateful, you're not doing anybody a favor. You're just acknowledging the gifts that God has given you through human beings. You are acknowledging those human beings to have remained human. So, but this again is my luck. This is not the average transgender story. Where at that place where link with education gets aborted, it is so, and we both were too scared to even talk to each other. We knew that we were both going through some severe trauma. And when I saw them, they didn't look like hapless victims. On the contrary, they were victimizing some men On the contrary, and I couldn't understand this. For me, this was an aha moment. Oh my God, the tables are turned here. The tables are totally turned. And I started, stalking them. నేను 12-13 ఏళ్ళు ఉన్నాను. వాళ్ళ వెంట ఊరికి వాళ్ళు ఎక్కడ పోతున్నారు, ఎక్కడ నుంచి వస్తున్నారు అనేసి ఆ స్కూల్ అవగానే ఆ ట్రాఫిక్ సిగ్నల్ పడుతుంది, అప్పుడు వాళ్ళు వస్తారు. రోజు రాదు, వారానికి, I mean, they come once a week or something like that. I used to stalk them and they were not at all interested in me. For them, it is reproduction time, money making time. They didn't want any distraction because the traffic signal will go away in 2-3 minutes or 4-5 minutes. They have to get their extorted money by that time. So they were mostly shooing me away. And I began stalking them. My step-elder brother, some friend of his, saw me following these people trying to make a conversation. He told my step-elder brother and my father. I was thrashed to pulp for the gazillionth time at home. Anything that my father got in hand, be it a belt or a garite, anything that he got, he would thrash me to pulp. But I was quite used to all this. So for me, I was not bothered about being thrashed. For me, like, who are these people and how come they're so fearless? On the contrary, they are frightening men. So I started talking to them. I discovered where they live. And they have a very matrilineal, crass and full of expletives. Lakaralu, bootu, pachipadalu, lakaralu. These are not words that you would use with dignity for other people. So I grew up in that kind of an environment where being anything other than man or woman was entirely abnormalized, criminalized, medicalized, radicalized. My step-elder brother, who's 11 years my senior, he, at the age of 17, joined the National Defence Academy as a cadet. He later joined the Indian Air Force. He became an Air Force pilot and so on. So you can imagine
all these things, but why psychiatrist? Suddenly, all of a sudden, why he came? Is a kind of mind doctor. Why? Yeah, because it starts with the mind, the seed, the desire to be the opposite gender, to change his or her entire identity starts in the brain during childhood.
We have observed this as LGBTIQ people. We have observed that when we were children and when we were not able to place a label on ourselves as transgender or as LGBT or anything else, our very own parents would have told us, "Ayyo, hijra manishni chusara navakama, tappama." But it's a different thing when that parent has to face it at home.